All right, everybody, we're going live here. Welcome to GEG APAC Weekend 8.0. I know my friend Sudeepta is there watching right now. Just let me know in the chat that if people can hear me or not hear me. And everybody, I've got my own phone going here. So, hey, go ahead, paste your comments in here, and I'll try to get to them if people are watching this in real time. If you're not watching it in real time, that's completely fine. Because we can see your comments a little bit later on. I'll give you my contact info after. But I want to jump right into this. This is going to be a 30 to 45 minute session. And great. Thank you, Sudeepta. See what I mean? It works, right? So I know you can hear me, and we're off to the races. Just had to get that back up again. So yeah, today's session is on Edpuzzle. I absolutely love this tool. I do use it in my own teaching practice. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. I've got a little bit of a presentation, but most of this is going to be walking through Edpuzzle so you can see how it works. And if you don't know Edpuzzle or you don't know a lot about it, you're going to be convinced that this is good for your students. So let me just share my screen here. And I'm going to share my entire screen. You know what? I'm going to share my tabs. That way you can hear the audio that I'm going to be sharing with you at certain points. All right, groovy. Now this is actually, all right, let me get my slideshow shared here. Okay, so this is actually the second part of a two-part session that I like to do. One is to use Adobe Express to make a video, and the second part of the session is to create lessons with Edpuzzle. I've decided to go with just the Edpuzzle thing for this right now. So we will keep moving on. All right, so first, my name's Nate. I live in Japan, actually. I'm originally from Canada. I teach at Nagoya International School. I teach diploma program history and middle years program individuals and societies, and I do this ed tech stuff on the side. You can read about all that stuff on your own. I am an Edpuzzle trainer, though, so I've kind of taken a deep dive into this stuff, and I absolutely love it. So reach out. You can find out more about me online. Let me just jump ahead about that. And I'm even going to skip the session description. But what I will say is that first, I'm going to tell you more about, why Edpuzzle is a really good tool. And then after that, we're going to do a walkthrough. I'm going to show you the features and then how to build it. It's a very, very dynamic tool. Even for the free version, though I do recommend the paid version just so you get a little bit more of a robust experience with it. But that's up to you and, of course, your school's budget. So if you're looking on the left side of your screen here, right, why would you use Edpuzzle? First, Edpuzzle is a tool in which you can take videos from, say, YouTube or Khan Academy, whatever. Edpuzzle is linked to like Nat Geographic, for example. You can take those videos and turn them into interactive lessons in which the video stops and the students have to engage with the video by answering questions, multiple choice and open-ended, or by listening to your instructions. So again, I think this is quite a dynamic tool. On the left side, let me just tell you some of the features of it. Now, if you want, you can upload your own custom videos as well. And something that Edpuzzle is doing is developing this library of videos called Edpuzzle Originals. So, they're getting feedback from teachers and trying to find out how can we make videos that are really tailored to what teachers want. But you can make your own videos too, and then turn them into a lesson for your students. What I do like is when you use these YouTube videos or any videos with Edpuzzle, when the students see them, you don't get the advertisements, right? So if you're using them in a lesson, the advertisements don't pop up. You're going to notice a couple of advertisements pop up in the example I give you, but that's because I'm building it. In Edpuzzle, you can give written and typed guidance to students, whether it's a note about pay attention to this coming up in the video, and you can use audio with that as well. So all your questions and your notes and things like that, you type the text, but you can also record your audio note. And that includes when giving feedback to students too, which is quite awesome. Another thing I like is that when the students are using the video, all of us, we tend to have multiple tabs open up at one time. I've got that going right now. But when students are using Edpuzzle, now the video stops at certain points where they have to engage, but also when your students, if they jump out of the Edpuzzle tab, it automatically stops the video. They can't play the video and then, look at another tab and work on a video game or other schoolwork or something like that. it actually stops. So they can't, basically they can't skip ahead, right? So there's edit tab pausing and there's auto stop, and you get the viewing data as well. When students engage with the video, you can see the percentage of time that they have spent on the video. So if the video is 10 minutes long and they watched 60 minutes, you'll see 60% as a result. There is the self-paced mode where they could do it individually in a class or individually at home for a flipped learning task, for example. But you could also do live mode in class where the teacher guides them. They see what's on the screen, but the teacher decides the pace, which is really, really great for classes. Getting cold in Japan and dry. Let me just, there, put some lip seal on my lips here. There are accessibility features that I think are fantastic, that I think more tools need to use. There is closed captioning. Again, there's the audio support that you can give. You can upload images within the questions as well to give a little bit more support. You can link text as well, so that if there might be something that's a little bit difficult for students and you want them to click on the link and go out and look at something else for a few moments before finishing the question, you can do that too. You can create classes, you can create playlists. There is a gradebook. It's a really dynamic tool. Now, what I'm going to show you with my gradebook is it's not filled because it's for training, but I'll be able to show you how it kind of looks. There is a new beta version for a question generator that's Edpuzzle, using generative AI, artificial intelligence. Very cool. There's an auto grade feature as well. And you can go back and change the grades if there might seemingly be a mistake. And of course, there's learning management system integration. So, whether it's Schoology or Google Classroom or Microsoft Teams, whatever you're using, you can get your students to join the class very, very easily because of those integrations. Let's see. So I think what we'll do from here is, I'm going to jump in and show you what Edpuzzle actually looks like. I do want to highlight one thing before I do that. Edpuzzle, don't limit it just to a class with content. I think Edpuzzle is useful even in club contexts. I know for myself, Model United Nations, I found a couple of decent videos where this is how the debate thing works. I want you to do this Edpuzzle video. This is how you defend properly. Look at this soccer clip from the Women's World Cup. I'm a girls' soccer coach. That kind of thing. So Edpuzzle, don't limit it just to a content class. Be a little more, innovative with how you use it. Use it with your clubs. Use it with your athletic teams and things like that. All right, let me jump ahead here. Whoops. Oh, well, since we're here. And if you really like Edpuzzle, why don't you join their programs, right? You can do their training to become an Edpuzzle coach, an Edpuzzle trainer, etc. They have a number of different course options, and I'm going to put the link to this slide deck for you in the YouTube chat a little bit later, so you'll be able to get access to it and all these links kind of thing. All right, so I'm going to jump over to Edpuzzle. Let me just share my Edpuzzle tab here. As I said, it's getting cool in Japan. So, all right. So this is what the dashboard in Edpuzzle looks like. Okay. So when you jump into Edpuzzle, you can see all these videos that are already here, right? Made by other people. You can see all the different names if you were to kind of zoom in there. And Edpuzzle is slowly working in multiple languages. I know in 2024, Japanese, for example, will be a new language that you can use with Edpuzzle. For now, it's just English, but they're working on other languages that are commonly spoken. So here you have your Discover library kind of thing, if you will. Here you can search for, videos, lessons actually, that are already made by other teachers. Let's say I'm looking for something in history. I would just go down to, let's see, I've got social studies there. I believe history is in here somewhere too. Okay, well, I'm going to go with social studies then. And I'm going to click save. And so now all the videos that are just social studies are there, but I want to go for something older. Maybe I teach grade 9, 10, 11, and 12 high schools. So let's look at that. I do feel that teachers who teach in the same age range kind of have a sense of what students can do. All right, so then I can look through here and I can look at the video lessons that they have, and then I can make a copy of it and then modify and change anything. I can add, I can delete my questions. Let me point out here too. All right, so I know that This is a 10-minute video with 10 different questions. I try not to use long videos myself. 3 is a bit too short. 6 is probably 5, 6 just about right. But I can see here's a 7-minute video, and then there's about 15 different moments, actually. They're not all questions. There could be pauses where the teacher has text they want students to read, or maybe a voiceover that kind of explains something. 15 is quite a lot for a 7-minute video. Well, maybe it's appropriate. It depends on what's in there. You can even search by country, and you can search by the source. Right? Was it a teacher upload, or was it a YouTube link? So that's kind of your dashboard. Now I want to go over here to my content. And if you click on that, what you're going to see here is I've got my videos in my playlists. So I take my videos and I organize them in playlists. So if I was to click, for example, on the Industrial Revolution, which my students are finishing up right now, I've got my videos here, and if I want, I can just click and drag and organize them. I can change my name of the playlist and that kind of thing. I can assign an entire playlist to students. Now, this is for training purposes, so you're going to notice this is private right now. So just to let you know, there's the playlist view right there. Now let's go back. You can see here too, I've got folders because we tend to teach by units, right? So we might have a unit that's 2 months long on revolutions, and then a unit that's 3 months long on imperialism or something like that. So I like to actually put my stuff in a folder, and that way I know all of grade 10, this is where all my videos are. And that just means if I want to go and focus on fixing a lot of the videos in one grade level, then I just go right there to my folder. And that's just a way of organizing. Now, lastly, you can see on the side here, I've got my classes, right? And so you can make new classes, you can archive classes and things like that, and you can assign those to your students. Now, we don't have time today to go into how to assign classes and that, but it's really simple, and it works like any other learning management system. You invite your students. They either get an email or a code. You have both options with Edpuzzle. So you're good to go in that way. So let's have a look at an example of what this might look like. Let me grab one here that I think I might have enough stuff here. How about what was the agricultural revolution? So I'm going to click on that. And so what students see, now this is the teacher view, but the student view is fairly simple. Now this is one accessibility feature that I kind of like, and it's a calming one. So here you can see on the left side, I've got an open-ended question, multiple choice, open-ended, open-ended. But in a way that it's accessible, I like that the students will see how many questions or how many notes that they have to read or watch or something like that. So it kind of gives them a sense, okay, 5 minutes, 5 times I'm going to have to do something. It's not too much. I can handle that. And it also gives them a sense of how things are going to be broken up. So I think that's pretty cool. Now let me jump to, let me just kind of show you as you play through.
The Industrial Revolution transformed Britain and established a blueprint.
Now you're going to
for the
note that
modern
there are
world.
no
But how much of this do we owe
advertisements
to the humble
popping up or
turnip?
anything like that? Okay, see how that just stopped automatically? That's what's referred to as a note, okay? And so you can see here, and let me just kind of zoom in a little bit, that automatically stopped. The student has no control over that. Note that I've got my bolded text in here too, right? Growth of agriculture. So I can go in, and when I'm editing, I can do that, right? Bold text that I want to highlight so that students see words that are important, or maybe they're key concepts for your unit or that kind of thing. Now, I also want to note that, as you can see here, I've recorded my note. It's 17 seconds long, perhaps a little bit long, but let's play that. In the next section, think about how the growth of agriculture may have been an important long-term turning point in human history. What does the narrator say about the importance of agriculture in the development of the Industrial Revolution? Great. And you noticed that once we finish listening to that note, now if you put the audio in there, the students do have to listen to the note, not only read. And then you're going to get your blue button to continue that highlights. Now, I do want to note these two little bits right here. On the left, it says rewatch. That means the student, again, another accessibility feature. The student can go back and rewatch up to that point in the video. They can do this with notes, with questions, with anything. They can always go back before they answer the question. Some teachers use Edpuzzle to grade. And so if it is an assessment, then that's great for students when they know that, oh, I can go back and rewatch if I missed something, right? They can't skip ahead, but they can go back and rewatch. Now, I just said they can't skip ahead, so you're probably wondering, well, why does it say skip there? I'm in my teacher view right now. So when you make your own Edpuzzle videos, you can toggle over, and I'll show you later how to do that, a little button that says prevent skipping. So they're not allowed to skip. So I love that feature. So when they click continue.
For the Industrial Revolution to occur, two things needed to happen. First, the population needed to grow. And second, a greater proportion of that population.
Now, because I'm in teacher view, I'm just going to jump right ahead here. Students can't do this, but I can because we're in, again, my teacher view.
Industrial Revolution required a revolution in agriculture.
Okay, boom. So my first question came up and it's open-ended. And so the students, now I don't have the audio here, which is good. I just noticed it because I do like putting my audio in for everything. But note I've highlighted one word, the importance, right? For older students, it would be significance, right? And here, note that the students can type their answer or they can answer with audio. And that's great. I teach at an international school, so some students, English is an additional language for them. And sometimes I have students where they feel more comfortable typing, but some of them feel more comfortable speaking. For example, their spoken English is quite proficient, but their written English, they're still struggling. So they might choose to prefer to answer with audio instead. So I think that's a fantastic feature. So that's essentially how it works. Now let's go back and I'm going to show you features of the gradebook. Okay, and let me just let me go back to a class here. Okay, so let me see if I've got one of my archive classes. I do have permission to use some student stuff here. Okay. Yeah, let me just give me one quick moment because I want to go to my gradebook. Let me go back to, see, and note how the gradebook here, you can actually go back to like, years before. I'm looking at kind of an older class. This was more of a demo for students. Let me go back to here and save that. And I believe I should have something in there. No, perhaps not. Maybe it was my grade 10s. Just bear with me for one moment here. I'm gonna go all the way back to start date because I've got kind of a demo thing here for you. All right, so I'm not going to. Okay, I'm gonna have to use a different thing to kind of show you here. My apologies, folks. I'm not sure what that was, but we'll come back to the gradebook. You probably want to know anyway, how do I make this thing? Because it is really, really cool. So I'm going to go back to my landing page here, the Discover tab kind of thing. And it's quite simple, actually. One thing that you could do is go up here and then just paste a URL to a YouTube video that you want to use. Or you can click here on this button where it says Add Content. Now, note here that you've got an upload video. That's a video you make that you might want to upload. You can record a video right in here if you're just explaining something to your students. You could do that. And this is where you could also create playlists. There is a feature called Student Projects where students can work on one thing together. You'll have to be together in the same class, but great opportunity for collaboration. Now, when it says Discover Video Content, it's just going to take you right back to this page. So note, you can search for a video or you can paste your own URL. In my case, I've already got a video, one of my own that I want to use to show you. I'm going to just copy the URL here. But what I want to highlight is what I'm going to do with this video. Now, in the beginning of my videos, I always have a bit of an introduction, and then I have something at the end that not everybody really needs to watch. And so when I create my my video, I can actually cut that stuff out. So when I click search for my video, and I can see that, yes, this is the video that I want. And I know I don't want the very beginning. So you notice here you can trim, right? Right up here it says cut. So I'm going to take that and I'm just going to the DP history exam for pause that actually. That is not an advertisement, by the way. That just pops up because those are videos within the this channel. But the students won't see that when you're doing it with them. So, okay, so I'm going to take that like that. Yep, that's where I want to begin. And so now that's going to be cut out. And even the end, I don't feel I need that. And note that I can, you note that I see, where this is going to be. So I'm not working in the dark here. I love that feature actually. So I'm going to do that. Now let's say actually there's something in the middle. Let's, there's some videos out there that they're 10 minutes long and I don't need from minute 2 to minute 4 kind of thing. So I want to cut that out. So you can do that. So here I'm going to take this and I'm going to toggle over to a place where, let's say, for example, I feel I don't need this right here. Okay, like the practice question in this video. Let's say I feel they don't really need that, but I want a little bit at the end here. I put my cursor right where I want it, and I'm going to go right here, and I'm going to click Add Cut. So I'm going to click that, and then I'm going to take this, and I'm going to pull it over to where I don't feel they need everything. Excuse me. Yeah, I'm going to go right there, and voila, I've got my cut. So I could click reset or undo it if I don't like it. But for me, if I think that's what I want in the video, I'm just going to go with that. Now, at the tabs at the top here, now that I've cut everything, I'm ready to start editing my video. Now the voiceover, because of YouTube's terms of service, compliance, that kind of thing, you can or cannot use some of them. So I'm going to click here. I'm going to go to my questions instead. And I'm going to start by creating questions. I'm just going to toggle all the way back here to where I want to begin. So the voiceover you can't use, but yes, you can use your voice. Not a voiceover for the whole video, but moments where you stop. Now, here's the thing. This here where it says Teacher Assist Beta, generate questions, that's the AI in Edpuzzle. So what you can do is click on Generate Questions, and you do this in the beginning before you start adding all your other questions. And it's going to create a set of questions based on AI for you. So let's do that. It's hit or miss. It depends on the video. But I'm going to click Generate Questions. You could choose only open-ended or only multiple choice. I'm going to go with both, and let's see what happens. Sorry, we're unable to generate questions for this video. Okay, and that might be because I'm speaking too quickly, or maybe the content is too spread out. Otherwise, normally it'll create a few videos. Perhaps my speaking is too fast or something like that. Anyway, let's assume that I know exactly where I want to put things in here, right? I'm just going to scroll ahead here. Let's see. Yeah, maybe right there. I'm going to stop right there, and I'm going to add a note. I like to add notes before my questions. And basically, I say, in the next little bit, pay attention to what's coming down. So I'm going to click Add Note, and I'm going to say, in the next section, focus on, let's see, values and limitations of sources. These are, unique historian skills or historiographic skills. Let's go with that. Graphic skills. Now, what I want to do too, let me just highlight that and bold it. See how I'm doing this here? Nice and easy. If I wanted to as well, I could add a link. So let me just go to an OPCVL chart. Yeah, let's say there's there. I'm going to just grab a link here randomly. I know you can't see the tab that I'm looking at, but let's say here is additional support at this link. Whoops. And I'm going to bold that, and I'm going to go to my little link icon there, click that, And all I had to do is pop in that URL, click OK. And now the students can click on the link and it's going to take them to the website that I want them to see. Now, if I wanted to, I could add an image. And so I'm thinking, why not do that? Let me just grab one here. Whoa! All right, just about to save my image here. You do, let's see. Well, if you want to add images, you can use the URL. I recommend uploading it. It doesn't really matter. So I'm going to add an image to add additional support here. Let's see, where did that image go? Did it go to my desktop? Well, look at that. Okay, and the width and the height that you can see here, I usually go with a width of about 300, and then the image doesn't get too big. Let's go with 350 and see how that looks for us. Okay, and that's not too bad. Students can actually see the text in there. I mean, they could always zoom in anyway. So the last thing that I have to do here is now put in my audio recording, and it's really just the same thing. So in the next section, focus on values and limitations of sources. These are unique historiographic skills. Here's an additional support. Here's additional support at this link. So I'm going to click stop. And if I listen to it and I like it, I keep it. If not, I can always just click the trash can and do it again. For our purpose today, I'm just going to leave it at that. Now, I think everything's kind of there. So I'm going to click save. And when a note pops up, students have to listen to the note. You know, like I said, there's no toggle actually for skipping and this and that. Okay, good. And so the students are going to continue on. If I want, I can edit or I can trash the question. I'm going to click continue. Before we move on, now this is my video. I already know it. So what I'm going to do is skip right ahead to there. I'm going to focus the students on this part right here. Just going to look at really an extract. So okay, and so I want students to start right here. And maybe, now you see how you can create questions, but what I want to show you now is the feedback, right? So I'm going to go with open-ended. Multiple choice, you know, a little bit more straightforward, I guess. So the first thing I'm going to do, so I don't forget, is click on allow audio responses. I want my students to be able to respond to all videos with audio, or all questions with audio. And with the open end, I'm going to write, please list, or not list, please describe, because it's open-ended. We want people to describe, right? Please describe 2 values and 2 digit and 2 limitations of historical sources. All right, and then I can add my bolded text and all that kind of stuff. What I am going to do is add my my image there again, just to add that little bit of additional support for the students who might be struggling. I'm going to make this one 400. I think it might fit. Yeah, that looks okay. And again, they have to describe. So this image is actually support, right? Let's see. Now, I'm noticing here I've got a problem, though. I've put this kind of just before the values and limitations. So I'm going to drag this question and actually put it right here. This is where I want students to answer the question. All right, so that's where it's going to stop. And I'm going to click save. Now, I realize I've got to add my feedback. And I think I should edit this as well. I'm going to bold the word 2 in these so they know 2 values and 2 limitations. I got to give my audio. Please describe with good detail 2 values and 2 limitations of historical sources. Okay, and noted I added a little bit more, with sufficient detail, right? So I've added that. I'm not ready to save yet, though, because I have to add my feedback. And now what I like to do with feedback is I like to say, if multiple choice, you can, for an incorrect answer, what I usually just write is, this is incorrect. And then I write the correct, this is, the correct answer is this because blah, blah, blah. And then I just really have to copy and paste. And even for the correct answer, I give more description, the same idea. Yes, this is correct because, and I give the same explanation. But let's go here to the feedback bit. And I'm going to type in my feedback to value, or, actually several. For my feedback for this kind of question, I would put several values and limitations samples. So I would normally have like a much more detail in the feedback. For the sake of this little presentation here, I'm not going to type everything. And notice it's yellow. The box being yellow is so that the creator, the teacher making this, or students doing a project making this, they can see that, oh wait, I'm in the feedback section right now. Right here where it says question, that's where you just go back and then you're into your question again. So I'm going to go back to my feedback here. And if I want to, you can see I can still highlight the text just like with everything else. I can add an image or a link if people need more support kind of thing. Going to add my audio. Several values and limitations examples. And so this would be more lengthy and more detailed, of course. So I'm going to click save. Excuse me. And so once that's saved, what I'm going to do is go through and I'm going to add more questions. I like to have a mix of open-ended and multiple choice. With history and social studies, I tend to have more open-ended than multiple choice because I want students to practice describing and explaining, right? But I do think multiple choice questions have value depending on how you construct them, okay? So if I'm all done with creating my video for my students, I just have to go up here to where it says finish. And if I have a whole bunch of questions, they're all going to be listed right there. Now, my notes don't pop up there, but my questions do. So what I want to do is go up here, and at this point in time, I'll want to move it to a folder or to a playlist or whatever, right? And if you want to share it with other teachers to look at, this is where you can copy the link. If you want to test it yourself when you're not logged in and see how that looks, that would be fine. And this is where you're going to assign and edit. Now, this video in particular can't be added to a classroom, I guess. I'm not sure why, but let me go and show you with another video. I'm not sure what's going on there, but that's okay. Let me just go back to my content here. Let's go here. Let's grab maybe child labor we're doing recently, right? So right up here, again, in my tab, if I want to edit, I can edit right there. This is where I want to assign it. So if I click on assign, this is where I can choose, let's say I have two different sections of a class, right? Two grade 9 classes, but it's the same course. Then I would just check on that. And then I can choose the students. Now, when your students are signed up to your class, their names will pop up. And if you have students that this video is maybe an additional assignment, or maybe it's maybe they're a second language learner and they have a different video that you're doing because you're differentiating, then you can choose the students that get it. And you click save, and then you move to the next little bit. So let me just, let me go with my demo class one here. Here you can add a new class too. If it's your first video with your first class, just click add a new class. Let's see, and we'll go with all students. I'm going to click next. And then I can create my start date. When do I want to assign it? So if I'm making this on a Saturday, maybe it doesn't roll out until 9 a.m. on Sunday. You can have a due date. The note here, this is our prevent skipping thing here. I always have prevent skipping on, so they're not allowed to skip through the questions in the video. Now with the attempts, note here, you can choose the number of attempts, up to 5 or unlimited. I always give them unlimited. I want students to try, keep going. Now, if you do have students that tend to do things over and over and over again because they're just not confident, then maybe you want to limit it to say, 2 attempts for the video or 3 attempts for the video. You get that data within the gradebook. And what that'll do, you can see that, oh, I have so many students that are spending too much time reviewing, or they're just struggling. Well, then that gives you the data that you need to help them out. Let's see, and closed captioning, you can make that automatic as well, which I think is really great. And then right up here, you're going to click assign, and that's it. Then it's assigned to the class. if you want to do the gradebook, you can do that as well. That's your choice. Now let's just kind of go back here. I'm not going to assign that to a class, so I'm going to click discard and exit. Let me go back to Edpuzzle here. Now let me look at my archive class. I thought I had an archive class here. Let me go with 2. Yeah, because I would like you to show you the gradebook, but you can't really see it unless you don't have if students haven't used it. So just bear with me for a moment. I'm going to log out of this and then log into another account that I have. Okay. And I think that's the correct login. No, it's not. Okay, bear with me for one moment here, folks. I'm going to let's see. I'm going to keep you on that tab here. I think you're still on the Edpuzzle tab. So let me just log out of one here. I like to use my own personal training account for this kind of stuff, but let me just jump into another one here, and I'll show you the gradebook. I do have permission actually to use it for training from my students, so I'm just going to go with that. All right, hold on one moment. This is worth it. I notice we don't have a lot of viewers here, so I think this is okay. If you're viewing not in real time, then you can just kind of go back and can do it again on your own. Let me just find. Just bear with me there, folks. It'll take just one moment. Okay. Okay, we're all logged in. Let me just kind of get set up here so that we don't have, student data that you're going to see, names and things like that. All right, let me actually share this tab. Okay, now we're ready to go here. All right, so here you can see, now this is a demo, by the way, remember, so this is not real student work and data and that kind of thing. And I asked them to use pseudonyms, so they got a little bit silly with some of their friends' names and things like that, but that's okay. Now, so when I click on my class here on the left, and then I go in here, I can see the number of videos, right? So again, this is a demo, but at the same time, I've set it up with a group of students that wanted to help me out. So I only have one video here, but you will see a list of videos as you go down if you use this, fairly regularly, right? And you can know I've got things that are pending to grade because this is a demo. I have not actually graded these things, but it's nice to get that little note like you have 85 new answers to grade, right? Meaning I haven't looked at any. If you look at the class members tab, you'll get the class members and then you get the grade book. But first, let's click on the video and then you're going to see, let me just kind of slide that over a little bit. So you're going to see the students and then you're going to see the questions, right? And I can see here that I've got answers to grade. Now, I will point out if you do this with a class, that live mode is where you want to be going, right? Because then that's going to allow you to access it as a teacher and do it with your class when you're projected on the board. Note here too, I can prevent skipping and toggle over on CCs, closed captionings. Now here you notice if I mouse over, what percentage of students of the video did students watch, right? And when did they watch the video, right? So we did this demo obviously on September 13th and everybody tried it just once. But what I'll see is if a student only watched for 40% of the video, watched 40% of it, then oh, well, there's a problem there. Hey, you haven't finished this, right? You can notice the attempts. You can notice not turned in. When students finish for your assignment in a real class setting, it will say turned in. And again, you see the number of attempts. So if I have 2 or 3 students that it took them 5 times to get it, submitted, then I might want to have a chat with them. And here on the side, you can see progress can be reset. You can make it one student retry it if you want. You can even unassign it to your class, right? This is where you can view it as a student. We won't worry about that right now. What I do want to do is click on just a random student here. And let's have a look at the data. And again, I'm trying to just avoid as many names here. So you can see here, I can see where they might have struggled with questions, that kind of thing. Again, it's a demo. 3 out of 8 questions were answered correctly. And then I can go down and then I can start giving my feedback to them. So note here, I can add a comment. If I want, I can physically change the value for an open-ended question if I want. If I want, I can just click the X for a completely wrong or the check mark for a completely correct. And then I can email this. I'm not going to email it because I don't want my student to get that update. And then you can ask the student to retry, or you can reset the progress. So then you would just kind of go through all of the questions and, again, put in the numbers for the open-ended questions as you see fit. And you can download your gradebook and that kind of thing. So really it is quite a dynamic tool. All right, so let's come back to this screen here. And I want to just go in and just share with you this online PD that you can do. So I know you're looking at that tab right now, but online PD from Edpuzzle. There you go. That's one link that you're going to need. And let's see, what else do I think you might need? We don't have swag for that. We're not going to worry about feedback for this because this is just a real quick video here. So I'm going to stop sharing my screen now. And essentially that's it, everybody. That's Edpuzzle. So hopefully, you're probably going to be watching this after the real time, so to speak. Fantastic tool, very dynamic. I love it. My students really enjoy it too, and live and self-paced mode, they're both really good. So I'm going to leave it at that. Please have a look at GEG APAC. In fact, let me pull that up. And so you can look at some of the other events going on. We've got Bahasa Malaysian. My understanding is we have things in Hindi and that, but we're not quite up to date, I don't think. But I know Bahasa Indonesian and English, you can definitely you can get some other sessions throughout the day. I'll be back here at 3 o'clock in Japan time talking about YouTube, but in ways that maybe you may or may not have thought about. Thank you, Sudipta, for joining me here, and appreciate knowing that, the stream was going fine. So take care, everyone. Enjoy your weekend. I hope you look at some other sessions. Going to be here later on tonight, 9 a.m. GMT, 6 p.m. Japan Standard Time for Kami. We got Wendy Peskel from Kami going to be joining us. So you're going to hear from the people that actually know Kami the best. So anyway, we'll see you for that as well. All right, bye-bye.